and I'm a political science student. But before I start with my introduction to my speech, I would just like to ask you all. Being a Filipino individual, what does it mean to be free? Can anyone answer my question?
Free to express my thoughts.
But how does it mean, what do you mean by being free to express your thoughts?
I can say anything I want in public, and I also have the right to vote and choose my leader and enjoy the privileges and benefits of a citizen of this country.
So basically, what Miss Jean has said is that being free is to have no restrictions at all. Okay? So in relation to that, I will be talking about democracy here in the Philippines. So democracy, the rule of the Filipino mass. So this would be my thesis statement. Democracy, a form of government, encourages passivity among its constituents and at the same time allows the mass to rule. How contradictory it might be, but that is how democracy is working here in our country, in this context. So this would be my talk. Yeah. There. So I will be talking about the emanation of democracy here in the Philippines. Okay. Under that, I will be talking about democracy as defined by two different people of two different generations. Second, I will be talking about the Philippine government under democracy, since we know that the Philippines has not been practicing democracy since its birth. Lastly, I will be talking about the regime of the Aquino administration, and that would be in relation to the second topic under the emanation of democracy in the Philippines. Second, I will be talking about how democracy encourages passivity among the mass, or in this context, the Filipino mass. Okay, under that would be two different theories. The first would be the rational choice theory, and the sleeping dogs theory as proposed by Almond and Verba. Next to that would be the Philippine society as radical conformist. I will be talking about the Million People March as an example. And lastly, for the last part of my speech, I will be talking about the Philippine mass as the rulers of the country. Under that would be the EDSA People Power Revolution. I guess you all know that. And lastly, I will be talking about the liberal mindsets as the bedrock of the development of the government. The Batman Rises. Although it may seem unrelated to the topic, but as we delve deeper into this film, we can see that there is this close relation between the civil society today and the characters in the story. So first, the emanation of democracy. Okay, so as you can see, these are two different peoples. As you all know, this is Aristotle. He's a very preeminent person in different fields of study. Okay, so he defined democracy as the power of, by, and for the people. He also said that the rule of the poor, democracy is the rule of the poor and the rule of the majority. For him, before he came up with this definition, he was able to he proposed this term which is called telos. For him, telos, it is an end, the way a thing is supposed to be. For Aristotle, if something achieves its telos, then it is virtuous. And for him, a democracy, since he is saying that a democracy is the rule of the poor and of the majority, he is saying that democracy is achieving its telos. However, this is, I guess you all are not aware of who this person is. He is Lehov Zizek. He is a Marxist philosopher, and he is opposing the theory or the definition that Aristotle has provided us. He is saying that democracy is merely the power of the people. Why? he is saying that it is not enough just to claim that in democracy, the will and the interests of the large majority determine the state's decisions. So what he is saying is that the practice of democracy in today's context is clearly opposing its own definition. It's a paradox. Why? Because democracy in today's context is following what the wants and the decisions of the larger majority and not the entire population and not the entire mass. So that we can see that there is a great flaw in the practicing democracy. But still, we can still say that it is a power of, by, and for the people, but not the entire mass. Okay, next. So how is the Philippine government under democracy? So we all know that the Philippines has not been entirely practicing democracy in the Philippines, right? So we can say that these people, the Aquino people, they have quite been a big influence on the type of government that the Philippines is practicing right now. So is democracy really encouraging passivity among the mass? So what is the rational choice theory? This theory states that a single person can do whatever he or she wants. Okay, there would be no other influence that would encourage him into doing something. It would be just by his own decision. Next would be the sleeping dogs theory. So what is the sleeping dogs theory? It is simply proposing that the passivity among the mass, or in this context, the Filipino mass is good because the government can say or state whatever they want, and the mass would simply follow what they want without opposing their side. So the Million People March. Well, we have been aware that about the issue of the PDAF. So what was the Million People March's goal? Of course, it was to enlighten. It was made to serve as an eye-opener for the Filipino mass regarding what is happening behind the doors of the government. It is basically enlightening. It's basically proving that the Filipino mass has the power to be radical conformists, and they would help for the development of the Philippines. Thank you so much for listening.